I don't know.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Before the meeting begins, I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank the council staff for getting us into this position where once again we can hold meetings, although it'll be a little different to what we're used to. Therefore, I welcome to this Facilities and Recreation meeting, which will be held via Zoom. The council would like to advise that this meeting is being video and audio recorded, as well as being live streamed via YouTube. The recordings will subsequently appear on the council website. At this point, could I please ask that all mobile devices are either switched off or put on silent? Regarding the format of the meeting, I will ask the relevant officer to introduce each item on the agenda, then it will be open for discussion. If you want to ask a question, please use the chat function by typing in RTS, request to speak. I will allow debate to flow and let people speak if I feel they have something new to add and not being repetitive. Anyone not being respectful to other members or officers will be asked to cease. When we come to a vote, I will ask members in alphabetical order to indicate how they want to vote. If we have technical difficulties, I will suspend the meeting until the problems are resolved. Has anyone got any questions? Right, can I ask for apologies?
Councillor Wood, Councillor Mrs Smith, Councillor Gardner and Councillor Grayson.
And Councillor Abley.
Hi, Kevin. I don't have a picture.
Good.
But we've lost the picture as well. We can only see all the councillors.
Okay.
See. Declarations of interest.
None received.
Members' dispensations.
None given.
Public questions.
None received.
Planning.
Members will note one planning application relevant to Spennymoor, which is the Castle Group North East Limited, who propose a change of use from a dwelling house to a residential institution for 3 children between the ages of 8 to 18 and associated support staff.
Is there any comments, or should we just note that?
Matron would like to speak, and then Councillor Foster.
Councillor Machin would like to speak.
Could I just ask, as it's a planning meeting, can I just ask if there's any feedback from the planning application to put the houses behind Atwood Terrace, which I think has gone to Durham County Council planning meeting? Could I just ask if there's any feedback?
I believe Councillor Foster attended that meeting. Am I correct in thinking that, Councillor Foster?
Yes, I did intend to do a report. I've asked for the right to speak. Yes, we had the meeting and we were successful in defending the rights of the people of Atwood and Tudor. We were able to persuade the planning authority not to go ahead with the application at this time. However, I suspect strongly that we will get an application for that decision to be reviewed, possibly by an inspector. But obviously, we can just keep on working with the people in the area and keep ensuring that their voice and like our voice is heard on a regular basis. But I'd like to thank the people who helped me with that, including the council staff.
Is that okay, Councillor Machin?
Yes, thank you.
Any more questions, or can we move to item 6?
Chair, just on the application that's in front of us tonight.
Oh, sorry.
I don't think there are any planning grounds for objecting to this. My only concern is not about the plan itself or how the development's going is, but my concern is there are a number of these developments happening where children aren't from the Durham area or even from the northeast area. They tend to be from further afield, and it's the responsibility of their own local authority to carry out the inspections in the homes that are provided. Some do this well, some do this less well. Now, from a plan point of view, I've got no objections to this at all. But from a county point of view, it might be something that the local members might want to keep an eye on.
So no, that's the only recommendation, Councillor Foster. At this stage, we don't do anything else. We're not objecting to it. We'll just accept it as it is.
Yes.
Item 6.
Item 6 is an update report on the allotment review, the poultry centre and vermin control. Members will remember that the allotment review was completed in 2019 and the report has been to council on several occasions. Members requested a working party was set up, but unfortunately it was not for it, and then we've been hampered by lockdown. In relation to the poultry centre garden site, this is now all completed and all of the gardens are in individual names as per the request. And in relation to vermin control, the Grants and Estate Officer is working in partnership with DCC, looking at complaints about vermin on council land. So at the moment, there have been no costs associated with the allotment review. The poultry centre costs £606 in legal fees, and at the moment there's no cost in relation to the vermin control.
Any questions? Right, well, Councillor Machin?
Can I just ask, well, sorry, 3 questions. Can you, because I recall when and this came to council before, there was a concern about if the consortium was going to be broken up, whether there would be legal fees involved because they didn't want to work together. Can I ask what the 3 questions, what do the fees relate to? Is there a potential for more fees? And how many members are there? Because I just can't remember. I couldn't find the F&R papers.
So the legal fees are in relation to we had to appoint a solicitor to represent the town council, who then liaised with the solicitor for the poultry centre consortium. There could be legal fees if there's a dispute in the future, but at this point in time, you know, something could happen, something might not happen. So until it does, we won't know. And in relation to how many, off the top of my head, I can't remember how many were on the consortium, because since then, they've also allocated another couple of gardens to another couple of people.
Okay, Councillor Machin,
Yeah, thank you.
you want to come back on that?
No, I'm just concerned that if they've fallen out, and I don't know what the basis for breaking the consortium up was, that the council will be facing fees from the individual members.
I believe Councillor Renyard wants to speak.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Can I just ask what the plans are for progressing the allotment review and reconvening the allotment working party?
Well, I think we might have to wait until lockdown is over, or I could obviously organise a virtual meeting.
Well, I suggest that we try a virtual meeting just to show that the will's there, because we'd like to try and move forward on that. But it could be that if there's no support, then we'll just have to leave it for a while.
Well, what I'll do is I will organise a virtual meeting within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, that's great.
Councillor
Thank you.
Renyard?
Great, thank you.
I would just like to make a comment. I agree what we've just stated there on the allotment review. I accept the statements made on the poultry centre, but I'd like to say 1 or 2 things on vermin control. I don't know about other councillors, but I am on a regular basis getting complaints about vermin. And I understand what the town clerk's saying, that it's much of it is outside of our control. And I understand that we have visited some allotments to do some work there, but I would like to have our estates officer, in conjunction with the county council officer, visit all our allotment sites and bring forward a report. And if that needs some funding allocated, then we should do it. But I know that we feel at times that it's beyond our control. But as I mentioned previously, down by his green, they killed 300 rats in a very short space of time. So I think we do have a general problem. So if someone would like to support me on that, I would like to move that we bring forward a report, having reviewed all the allotments over a period of time, and maybe have a look to see if whether we have to allocate some funding towards being proactive in killing the vermin.
I'll second that, Councillor Thompson.
Need to go to vote. So is everybody happy with that? Do we need to go to vote, or can people just support that?
I support that.
Yeah, supported.
Yeah, agree.
Thank you. Item 7. Colin?
Yeah, through you, Chair. The report is the Town Council shop vacancy. Purpose of the report is to advise members that the current shop tenant, provided the Town Council is to leave. As members are aware that the Town Council have a small number of shops located in front of the Town Hall where we let to traders following award by the Town Council. We've received notice from the tenant who wishes to leave due to lack of trade, with COVID-19 implications being significant, and the tenant is now in the process of decanting the shop premises. From a financial perspective, the Town Council have not previously sought any shortfall in the rent from the tenant leaving as short notice, and the proposals are that the council do not seek any financial recompense from this tenant, and that the council approve advertising the shop vacancy as soon as possible to allow the council to appoint a new trader as soon as possible. And members are recommended agree to the proposals to not charge anything to the tenant and get an advert out as soon as possible.
Councillor Geldard, I believe you want to speak?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I think as a council, we've always done our best to support these local businesses, and it's sad to see them going under during this time. And we need to continue to support people as much as we can. And I think the recommendation is very sensible in doing that in this particular case. So I'll move the recommendation of the report, Chairman.
Yeah, well, Councillor Foster would like a word. Maybe he'll second that.
I'm more than happy to second that proposal. I think it's eminently sensible. We're trying to encourage small businesses such as shops to come into the area, and the last thing we want to do is to get a bad reputation as a landlord. We need to encourage and work with businesses, and I'm sure that the facilities manager and the staff have been working with these shops already there to ensure that if there are any COVID-19 grants available, they'll be pointing them in the general direction and making sure that they are funded and supported. So I'm more than happy to second Councillor Geldard's proposal.
Anybody got any other questions before I ask one? Facility manager, it doesn't seem that long ago that we advertised. Have we got a list of people interested? Do we have to go out and advertise again?
Through you, Chair, we don't have a list. We do, however, have a couple of people who are expressing an interest, but to ensure complete transparency, I think the council would need to advertise it to demonstrate that we're being fair and equitable to all parties.
That's right. Are we okay with Councillor Geldard's movement? recommendation.
Or his movement.
You won't send that one away. Okay, thank you. Item 8, proposed changes to the dog walking area, survey results.
Members will remember that at the beginning of the year, just before lockdown, we carried out a survey. We've now pulled those survey results together. You will see that the majority of people who responded were actually dog walkers. The majority lived within the parish, and the majority do not want to see the dog walking area moved, and they do not want to see the current dog walking area changed into car parking facilities. So the recommendation is that no changes made to the current arrangements as per the results of the survey.
Councillor Malloy, you want to say something?
Yes, Chair. Very good report and survey, and the comments as well. And I think it'd be sensible for us to listen to what the people say, and I recommend that we take the recommendations and make no change.
Councillor Geldard, can I bring you in?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I'm of the same mind as Councillor Malloy. You know, we do these consultations to make sure that we listen hard and act on what we hear from our residents, and it's important that we do that. And I support the recommendations of the report.
Councillor Foster, I believe you would like to speak.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I've got to agree with Councillor Geldard that based on the information in this report, there's nothing that takes us any further forward in terms of making any progress. So I think that the report's eminently sensible, and we should stick with the status quo at this current moment in time. More than happy to second that.
We've already got a move in a second to thank you, Councillor Foster. I believe Councillor Mr. Mason would like a word.
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just going to second it, but I'm happy. I mean, it seems eminently sensible to, if we do a survey, to be guided by what the outcome is.
I think it's quite emphatic, so we'll just pass the recommendations that no change be made to the current arrangements. Everybody agreed?
Yep, agreed.
Thank you. Item number 9.
Yes, this is the report on bus shelters. So members will be more than aware that over the past few months there's been a lot of damages done to bus shelters across the town, both DCC and owned by STC. So we've been looking at how we can address this. So the current position is that the Grant and Estates Officer reports that whilst glass panels are still being smashed in bus shelters, the panels with the PETG have not been smashed. An exercise is being carried out to ascertain if the organisation Clear Channel is interested in taking over responsibility for the bus shelters. The facilities manager has heard back from them this evening, and unfortunately they're not interested at the moment because of the impact of COVID. They don't want to take on any extra responsibility. We're also looking to ascertain what the cost would be to replace the glass shelters with stone shelters, and also to understand any planning and highways implications. And a further exercise is being carried out to ascertain if all the bus shelters are in use, as if not, there may be an opportunity to remove some completely. And the final exercise being carried out is to look at what the cost would be to replace all of the glass panels in all of the shelters en masse with the PETG. So at the moment, there are no financial implications, and the proposal is that a further report be brought back to Facilities and Recreation when we have all of the information outlined in the report.
Thank you. Any comment? Do we have no recommendations? Would anybody like to say anything? Councillor Geldard, I believe again.
Thank you, Councillor Thompson. Yeah, this is an important piece of work by officers at the minute, I think, and it's something that is high on the agenda of residents in the town. We need to obviously tackle the root cause of the bus shelters being smashed in the first place, and I'm pleased to see that the option's been taken not to replace them with glass, and this material does seem a lot more substantial when we're talking about fighting the vandalism. And also the officers have got some good ideas in mind for alternative ways we can manage these bus shelters. So I think it's a very positive way forward, and I would move the recommendations of the report.
Thank you. Councillor Reynard?
Yes, Chair, thank you. I'm happy to second the recommendations of the report. I thank the town clerk and the other staff involved in getting the report together. I think it was something that needed to be looked at with the spate of vandalism that we've seen and the glass shelters being targeted. It's good to see that the new PETG materials now being fitted in several shelters. And whilst it can still be vandalised, it can't be easily smashed through like the glass. So I think that is progress. I'm kind of glad that the bus shelters will be kept under the control of the town council. I wasn't particularly keen to see them go out to a third-party company. I think it is something that the town council should be looking after for the benefit of local residents. And I'd just like to pay thanks to the grounds and estate staff that have been brightening up the stone shelters with the grow bags and the flowers, which have been going up across the town over the last few weeks and months. It's really brightened the place up. So thank you to them for that.
Councillor Malloy, I believe you want a word?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, over the last month or so, I've been getting a lot of public questions and reporting them to myself that I've passed on, and I'd like to thank the town council staff who have reacted quickly to get them tidied up and provide information as well, so I could pass on to those with the inquiries. I'd also like to ask, when we get all the information with regarding the cost of stone, bus shelters, etc., would we be entering into a public consultation once we've got all the figures, all the information there, and get a good feel from public opinion?
I think what we'll have to do first is bring a report back to council, because if the costs are prohibitive, it's pointless going out to consultation. So we'll bring the report to council first, and then the council will decide on which options it wants to go out to consultation with, if at all.
Thank you.
Councillor Mr. Machin, sorry, carry on.
Sorry,
Councillor Malloy.
Chair. Yeah, just come back. Yeah, sorry for not making myself more clear, town clerk. Yeah, that's what I meant, was once after the report came back and we had all the information to then look at that possible route.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
Councillor Mr. Machin. I think you must be on mute, Councillor Machin.
It looks unmuted on my screen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm happy to support what's been proposed. I just have a question about the bus shelters. I think we can all see the ones that are being damaged in the town hall repeatedly. Sorry, in the town centre repeatedly. But which bus shelters are being damaged outside of the town centre? Just for curiosity, because when I'm driving round, I can't recall seeing any damaged.
Certainly Middleston Moor, there's I think 2 up Middleston Moor that have been repeatedly damaged.
Stone or glass or?
Glass.
Right. On the main road, Kevin?
Yeah, Grayson Road, especially the one just outside the care home.
Okay.
Right, everyone finished? I think that's been moved and seconded, so we'll wait for the report coming forward. Everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Right, we'll close the meeting, but before I do, I'd just like to thank the backroom staff who are doing an amazing job here, who are actually making me look good. And, you know, apart from one slip on Ian's movement, I think they've helped me get through the night. So well done. So
They've
thank
done
you,
your makeup
everybody.
as well.
Pardon?
They've done your makeup as well.
No, well, just a little touch up here and there. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you,
Good night.
Chairman.